Really? I mean, because I've been touring the world for so many years playing music, never been to Russia before. So that's the one place I've always wanted to come to and never had the chance. And also, I have a lot of Russian blood. My grandmother was born in Minsk. You know Minsk?
Yeah, Russia.
Yeah. And my other grandmother was born in Lithuania. So that's it's not really Russia, but as far as I'm concerned, it's very.
USSR anyway.
It's very, yeah, it's like that part of the world, and so there's a lot of Russian blood in me, and I've never been able to come here. Of all the tours, every year touring, and no Russia, no Russia, no Russia. So finally, I get to come to Russia. I'm so happy to be here. I can't even tell you. So it's going to be a fun show, and I wish that my Russian relatives were still alive to be here for it, but I'm sure they'll watch from somewhere else. Yeah, well, the first time I went to Japan, I was playing in a band called Cacophony, and I just thought it was such an unusual place. I mean, because I grew up in Washington, D.C., it's kind of normal American type of thing, and you go to Japan, it's like being in another planet, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? I didn't understand it, but I just knew it was exciting. And then every year I would go there for touring and promotion, and I would just like more and more about it. And then in the middle of the 90s, I just started hearing Japanese music, and that was all over. I just really got into it.
What's the biggest in the world?
There really is no rock metal culture over there. It's what it is. It's all mixed together, and it's kind of genreless compared to America. I mean, I'm sure there's genres of music in Japan too, but in America, the genres are very strict, and there's a lot of rules within the genre. If it's this, it's this. Especially in heavy metal, there's like so many subgenres, and there's too much thinking going on. And I like to mix things up. And in Japan, there's not really rules. Everything can go together, and I really like that as a musician, because you take maybe the biggest band in Japan is of kind of the rock flavors, maybe X-Japan, and they have full-on metal songs, but they have these ballads that are like Barry Manilow or something like that. There's really, poppy ballads, and I like both of them. But it's really hard to do that in America. It's not cool to have ballads like that. So that was kind of the first thing that got me into the whole Japanese music scene over there, and I find that it's okay to be an artist of one style, but to veer off of it. And then as long as you stay true to what it is you want to do, I think it's a little bit more accepted over there than it is outside of Japan. I don't really know anything about other instrumental guitar music. I know there's a lot of great guitar players out there. I just never listen to instrumental music. I never do, ever. I get bored too quickly. I don't care how good a guitarist is. I need a vocal. And so you say, but Marty, you're just releasing all these instrumental records. And my main criteria is that when you're listening to my record, you don't miss a vocalist. So that's the standard that I try to shoot for, and I'm satisfied with it. And hopefully that the people who listen to the records, and I hear it a lot, is that, I don't miss a vocalist being there or not being there, and I think it's the main thing that I'm going for. So you got to tell me after the show tonight. I mean, maybe you think I still need a vocalist, but who knows?
Have you got any favorite guitar riffs or solos? Of all times, I mean, not your own.
Good question. Good question. Not really, but like one I always like, it's an old one from Pat Benatar. Do you know who that is? Pat Benatar?
Yeah.
From a long time ago. Her guitar player's name was Neil Giraldo, one of my all-time favorites. There's a song called Wuthering Heights, and it's got just the best guitar solo in it, and every time I hear it, I just rewind the guitar solo and play it over and over again. It makes goosebumps.
Do you do any clinics elsewhere?
Sometimes, yeah. I do clinics. I'm doing some in Italy next week, yeah. I don't really do them in Japan, actually. I really don't do them in Japan. I've done them outside of Japan, but in Japan I do a lot of other activities, so I don't really do a lot of guitar clinics there.
You're going to join Raven on stage soon, right?
What's that?
You're going to join Raven, the band Raven.
Oh, yeah, I jam with Raven, yeah. Yeah, you must have heard about it.
It's one of your favorite bands, right?
Yeah, when I was in a group called Hawaii, we used to like copy Raven all the time.
Oh, really?
And well, we said it was our own music, but we were just copying Raven.
So they were huge in America? Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no. That
Yeah.
was like when the new wave of British heavy metal just started, and there was like Raven and Angel Witch, and at that time Iron Maiden and Def Leppard. They were all kind of in the same group, but Raven stood above those guys in the full intensity and energy department, and that's what I really like because I grew up with punk more than rock or metal. I grew up with punk, so when I heard Raven, it's like they have the same energy as punk, but these guys can really play. You know, Sid Vicious can't play, but like these guys in Raven can really play, but they have 10 times the energy. So I love those guys. And finally I met them and jammed with them on stage in Tokyo. And it was such a thrill for like the metal fan part of me. I was just like, it was great.
After all these years in Japan, have you got any Oriental philosophy? I mean, did it change?
Oh, not really. I mean,
Attitude or something like that.
not really. I'm pretty much the
Do you
same.
feel like more like American or just a citizen of the world?
Yeah, that's a good word. Citizen of the world, I think, especially from touring so much around the world. It's like I find I go to a city and I know my way around in a lot of cities by now. Not Moscow yet, first time, but I know my way around a lot of weird places, so I don't really feel. Of course, I'm an American. I'm very proud to be American, but I also am very happy to be living in Japan. You know.
What do you think about this state of American rock and metal scene nowadays?
I'm really glad that there's a lot more heavy music now than there was a while ago, and it seems to be a lot better than it was a while ago. It's well produced and it's really heavy. There's not really a lot of metal vocalists that I like. Usually the vocalists ruin it for me because I'm not really a big fan of the death metal vocals and all that. But the death metal music is so fucking cool that I would just like to take those vocals off and listen to the music because it's so heavy and guitar riffs are just amazing. But then there's always just some weird vocals on top of it, and you know, everybody has their own taste.
For example, I mean, the bands, could you please tell the name of your
I don't even.
metal favorite bands?
I wouldn't even be able to tell you names of bands, but let me see. Maybe I can tell you. I love Decapitated. Decapitated. They're a great example of like what I think is from Poland.
Right?
Yeah. And even their vocals were not like that bad. They're full on death metal, but like they're kind of rad. You know, they're kind of like mixed into the mix in such a way that it doesn't just sound like somebody, a Cookie Monster. I don't know if you know that term. The guy from Sesame Street. Just like that, sounds like a bear, a little teddy bear singing over metal music. You know, I just never really liked that. But
The drummer died last
yeah,
year,
that's
but
such a
you know,
tragedy. He was like in his
after a gig
early
in
20s.
Moscow, tried to win it somewhere in Belarus.
Really?
Yeah.
It was Russia.
Yeah, on the way to Minsk or something like that from
No
Russia.
way.
Yeah, they had a tour from Russia and Belarus.
It's
and
just
like
such a tragedy. He was like 23 and such an amazing,
Yeah.
talented drummer with so much potential. And I really push that band. You know, when people ask me about metal, I always say Decapitated because I think they kick ass over a lot of the bands.
How did you know them?
A friend of mine played it for me, and I just like, oh,
Japan.
in Japan, yeah. And I'm like, this is the best thing I've heard in a long time. And these riffs are amazing, and the band is just like, and I usually don't like double bass drums. I usually hate them because they just sound so dated, you know? It just sounds like 1983. But the way Decapitated plays them, it's really clever. That's why, you know, it's really sad as I never knew the drummer, but his style, you know, made double bass drumming cool again, in my opinion. So hopefully there are people that influenced by him and continue to play like that.
How do you think?
It's such a cool place, and I'm really excited about how good the food is. And check out Full On Metal Phone. This dude is a metaler. And I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to playing for everybody in Moscow, and see you again soon. Later.
Could you please tell something in Japanese to just a couple of words?
日本語で話していいですか？日本語で話してくださいだって。どうしようかな。まあロッシュに来るのはすごく嬉しいですよ。だから日本語わかる人、それを友達に通訳してください。マーティです。よろしく。
ありがとう。